Alrighty folks, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena Draft video. I want to fire off some more Premier Draft Zendikar Rising and maybe explore a new archetype. I've been doing some recent sealed videos lately. I don't know if I want to do any more. I think the payout is quite horrendous. You need to get at least 6 wins to make back all of your gems, which I was lucky enough to do in the second sealed video. But even then, if you get up to 7, you're just going to get back 200 gems that you would have normally paid. So Premier Drafts definitely rewards you more. And Draft is a lot more skill intensive than Sealed, definitely. So obviously the more preferable format is Draft. Alrighty then, pack one, pick one. What do we have the fine pleasure of opening today? Alright, Zagras is a bomb, so it's an easy pack one, pick one. It is not a very flexible choice, but the power level of it's high enough that I don't mind just forcing black-red party, since, yeah, it just gets a huge discount with your party creature quality, and then everything's just going to gain Death Touch, and yeah, that's quite insane, so it's an easy first pick. Other great cards in this pack, there's a Mind Carver for the Demir deck, but I don't know if I would first pick it, since it's not really flexible, and it forces you to kind of be in blue-black, since this is going to be at its best in blue-black with all the mill synergies going on. The best commons, Nahiri's Binding and Feed the Swarm, but I would still take Feed the Swarm over Nahiri's Binding, given that Nahiri's Binding runs into the issue of not killing creatures, therefore party members stay on the battlefield. You can run into the roil, bouncing the enchantment back, and also Feed the Swarm destroys opposing enchantments. But we're going to start with our pack one, pick one. This is definitely one of the biggest bombs in the set. It keeps you in the two colors, and there's not a lot of mana fixing, but if I can force it, I don't mind, and if I end up in green, I don't mind splashing this. Alright, after taking Zagras, Thief of the Heartbeats, we have some interesting options too. There's a Shower Skull Minotaur, which plays, fits into the same theme as the deck that's looking to play Zagras, which is playing just a bunch of random party members as much as possible. In order to give it a discount, so this seems like a perfect follow-up. There's also Deadly Alliance too, which also rewards us for more party members, but I think the Shower Skull Minotaur would make a lot more sense after taking Zagras, because the game plan of playing Zagras is just to have a lot of aggressive creatures to beat down. So it's more of incentive that we pick up a lot of quality creatures that can kill the opponent as quickly as possible, and the Shower Skull Minotaur is definitely one of them. Alternatively, there's another great card in this pack being Glasspool Mimic, but it just doesn't fit well with our first pick, so I think it's an easy Shower Skull Minotaur. Given that it's an uncommon, it's a little bit more difficult to pass up, and great creature quality is a lot more difficult to find than great removal quality, so that's my reason for taking it over Deadly Alliance, but I can also see a reason taking Deadly Alliance over this. Okay, second pick, there's a Kazul's Fury, which can be pretty nice if I can sacrifice some large creatures late in the game to fling damage at their face. However, there's also the second best black common in this entire pack. I mean, the second best red common in this pack, which is the Grotog Bugcatcher. This card is another excellent card that pays you off for having a party theme. And it's also a warrior too, just like the Shower Skull Minotaur, so we can focus a bit more on warrior synergy a lot higher with this card. I think if this wasn't his pack, I would take a Kazul's Fury as a good MDFC that comes in tap, but I think MDFCs can be kind of overrated. Usually you want the effect to be very good to take it over like a Premier Common, but in this case, Kazul's Fury is alright. But it's not going to be something I'll take over an easy Bugcatcher, which fits in the same archetype that we're trying to draft. In this pack, I don't know, could just take a random Rolling Regrowth in case we end up in some sort of red-green party deck instead, and we need to kind of splash black for Zagras. Alternatively, there's really nothing I like. There's a Dreadworm, which is filler. Grow draws Muckler, which is filler. I could actually see playing Sizzling Barrage in this type of deck if we're going to be hyper-aggressive, but these tend to wheel since they're not super amazing, and they're not really good on defense. So I don't mind maybe speculating on a Rolling Regrowth, or I guess a Reclaim the Waste makes more sense, right? Yeah, I guess Reclaim the Waste is just better since this actually makes you sack a land. And then the Reclaim the Waste, if we do end up in green, at least it's just one mana search for your land, so Yeah, let's just take the Reclaim. We're not really going to be a landfall deck, but just in case we somehow end up in red-green, I think I need to Reclaim to at least search for Zagras, and this also gives us some more flexibility. I think Stonework Pack Beast is perfect for our party synergy. Alternatively, there's a Marasa Brute if I want to be a little bit more committed to green, but Stonework Pack Beast is a lot more flexible, obviously, and still keeps us possibility of just being in red-black. There's a Black Bloom Rogue, which is a rogue that can fit in the party, but I'm not really looking to mill the opponent at all. This is only best in the mirror. I wouldn't play it outside the mirror. Sea Gigalos is another payoff for party, but with 2 top-end threats already, I think I'm just going to take a Stonework Pack Beast. And then a Titterpeak Ambusher seems fine, but I think the Expedition Champion is definitely better than the Titterpeak Ambusher. Titterpeak Ambusher might be a 2-drop, which is more important in an aggro deck, but the Expedition Champion can definitely beat down a lot harder. Like a 3-mana 4/3 is no joke, while these Titterpeak Ambusher does need to pump itself to deal at least 3 damage, which isn't too reliable in the early game, so I think we're just going to take an Expedition Champion here. Another great payoff for the Warriors archetype. And we pick up landfall creatures, a Pyroclastic Hellion would be fine. Soft Consumption is fine, but I'm not going to take over an Expedition Champion. And could just take a Sizzling Barrage. There's a Drana Silencer, which rewards us for the party theme as a fine removal spell in the late game, but I'd rather just have large creatures that can beat down hard. So this is the type of deck where I actually don't mind a Sizzling Barrage. There's no other green cards I really like if I'm going to be splashing green. 1 copy of Sizzling Barrage can be fine if you're hyper-aggressive, which is what red-black is trying to do. And I guess I can just take a random Highborn Vampire, or I can still take... I guess Cleansing Wildfire can allow us to splash. I mean, I guess it's not that bad, and it's also in our color. So yeah, maybe I can end up splashing black instead, and maybe we end up in like red-white or something, since we have a nice red-white party theme being shown. Alternatively, there's a base camp which taps for colorless, which I'm not a big fan of. So I'll take a Cleansing Wildfire in case we end up in red-white or some other archetype. I don't mind 1 copy of Sneaking Guide in these aggro decks. It's not only a rogue, but it can grant evasion to our Bugcatcher or future Titterpeak Ambushers later. Even though Mind Carver going pretty late, so Dimir could just be open. But red is also very open from our side, so I don't hate it. Expedition Skulker can be fine with the early rogues, especially if they can gain Death Touch. But the Ardent Electromancer rewards us with mana. I don't know, with a Sneaking Guy and a Stonework Pack Beast already, I actually don't mind the Expedition Skulker here. Just as a solid 2-drops, and 2-drops are a lot more important. And even though this is best in Dimir to enable Death Touch, I still think it's fine. Maybe we can get away with it with 1 copy, and Molten Blast, I don't mind a copy as well. And then just take the uncommon for the vault. Okay, so red-black. Black doesn't seem as open, but we can still maybe just take a field of... Okay, even a late Titterpeak Ambusher, but red does look very open, and we could move into a Warriors deck instead of red-black, depending on what we open next, and that's a pretty powerful bomb rare. So, okay, I could go into red-white Warriors, and then I can basically try to splash black for the Zagras Thief of Heartbeats with, like, a Cleansing Wildfire. I don't mind that. The Maul of the Skyclaves is a good reason to maybe move into white, or keep my options open for white, since this is just a powerful bomb rare. It's not really a splashable one, because if the creature you have equipped to dies, you need to pay double white to put this onto a creature, but this is just a bomb. Just turning all of your creatures into flying first strikers is definitely a big consideration. Alternatively, there's another Grotog Bugcatcher, the second best red common in the set that I've talked about already, but we're just going to take them all. Maybe we just transition into red-white Warriors. And the white cards keep coming. No amazing black cards. I don't really like the Scorch Rider. Skyclave Apparition is not that amazing. It's a little bit too difficult to cast. 2 toughness does not make it a good ground blocker, and it dies to so much removal. And the downside of this dying is that the opponent gets a creature back, so it's not very exciting. However, Fearless Sledging is exciting, even though it doesn't really enable party synergies. It's just an amazing 2-drop to play early, and just being able to gain counters and gain flying every turn whenever you play a land is quite strong. Also has a nice combo with the Cleansing Wildfire, so I can see myself going to red-white aggro or red-white mid-range, splashing for Zagras, the Thief of the Heartbeats now. So yeah, this is a sign that white is open, so might just move out of black instead and just move into red-white. Now that being said, there's no good white cards. There's a practice tactics, I guess, which is good. Blood Beckoning if I want to stick with black. Fissure Wizard can be a wizard that we can cast early to maybe give Zagras a discount. I don't know. Second picking a Pack 2 pick 1, a Maul the Skyclaves and Fearless Fledgling makes me so that I want to just stick with white. And a card like Practice Tactics isn't bad, can be a fine removal spell, as long as we have 2 diverse party members on the battlefield. It's still 1 mana deal 4, which is quite a lot. So I think I'm just going to take the Practice Tactics here. Otherwise, I think the more flexible choice would be the Fissure Wizard to enable party synergy, but that's not a very exciting card. So I'm going to take a Practice Tactics here, I think. And then the Kabir Takedown, also pretty late. There's also Vanquish the Weak, which is pretty strong, but I think the Kabir's Takedown is definitely at a similar power level, if not better, since it can also be played as a land. There's also a Kabira Outrider, which can help with the whole party theme, and also a Warrior. Most of these black cards, this is only going to be best in black-white, and again, this is only going to be best in black-blue, but still serviceable, maybe serviceable in our deck. But yeah, I think I'm just going to take a Kabira's Takedown. And then any other good white cards. Ooh, another Grotog Bugcatcher. Okay, seems good. More Warriors. And red-white is mostly going for that Warriors theme. Even though we don't have too many Warriors payoffs, hopefully we can get them later. And another Expedition Champion. I got to take it over to Grotag Bugcatcher, given that I have 2 of them already. And then this is still a very good card either way. So it's going to be my easy pick here. And Akum Warrior, excellent. I guess there's a Ravager's Mace, but I'd rather just have the Maul the Skyclaves in this type of deck. To be honest, it's definitely better than the Ravager's Mace. A lot of pros have been saying this card isn't as exciting as it is, because it only gets +1/+0 for each creature in your party. So if you are sharing the same party members, it's just going to be 1 power, so it's not great. But giving a creature menace is fine. But the Akum Warrior still keeps us open, and a nice tap land we can play late. Let's just cut the Expedition Skulker, and none of this I want. Maybe take a random utility knife if I don't find any weapons. And I could main deck a Smite the Monstrous if I'm going to be a little bit more mid-rangey and I need a way to kill something. Alternatively, there's Pressure Point, which is not a great card, but still could be playable at times. Yeah, I'll take a random Smite the Monstrous. It's not the end of the world if I main deck one. And then I'll take a late Brushfire Elemental. I don't know why this is still in the pack. But I know I'm red-white here, not red-green at the very least. But this is still a very strong card. So what am I hoping to get next pack? Maybe a couple more 3s, maybe 1 more 2-drop. I guess our 2s are stacked already. Wouldn't mind some 4-drops like the Kabira's Warriors to fill the role at 4. And then this deck could just be quite good. Might even main deck the Sizzling Barrage or Molten Blast, but I also don't mind having more Warrior synergy in this type of deck. Like more Warrior payoffs, like the Warrior Alert. Okay, even Kabira Outrider wheeling. Definitely a solid 4-drop in this deck. And then, don't know if I will play McKinney Ox, but it can be a fine 5-drop if I need one, since it still taps something down if you play a land. And yep, we're just going to be in an interesting red-white Warriors deck. Valak Awakening is fine, but I think it's just an easy roll eruption, great removal spell, cheap to cast, and then if you can kick this in the late game, it can deal 5 damage to any target, including the opponent's face. If this one's in the pack, I wouldn't mind just taking Synchronized Spellcraft as a fine, clunky, expensive removal spell. But I'll take an easy roll eruption here. And then another Bugcatcher seems great. Yep, there's also Seagate Banneret I could consider, but the Bugcatcher has to be better, I imagine, since you're going to this is only important if you can get up to 5 mana, which can be a fine mana sink, but I think as long as we can curve out with 1,000,000 of these Bugcatchers, we can just close out the game quickly. And then, okay, there's also Grotog Night Runner for our deck, which is a fine rogue, and if this manages to connect, you can just draw cards off of this. Kitesail Cleric doesn't seem amazing, but can fill a party role. Angel Heart Protector, maybe just a worse version of like Grotog Night Runner, but it does beat down harder. So I know, with a Sneaking Guide, I could just consider the Night Runner, since if I can grant his evasion in the late game, attack and connect and exile cards off the top, it's almost essentially like drawing a card. I could also consider the Spikefield Hazard, in fact, Since we might have enough playables already, I don't know, it's close. Yeah, I may just take the Spikefield Hazard, because it's pretty hard to connect with the Grotag Night Runner anyways. And then we'll take a Prowling Feldar as a fine 4-drop. The question is, does this deck even need Zagras? Like, Zagras is a bomb, but if we have enough aggressive curve out of creatures, maybe we can just ditch the splashing to make the deck a little bit more easier for us to play. And then the Skyclave GOP, perfect, even though it doesn't have any warrior synergy. It's just a really excellent 3-drop that can just beat down pretty hard whenever a land comes into the battlefield. So yeah, I guess we have some sort of a red-white warriors deck with a bit of a landfall theme to it, and I think I prefer that approach rather than having a million other party members in different colors. Although now there's like a Farsight Adept, I guess there's also a Kum Hellhound, but it's also not that exciting. I don't really like Farsight Adept anyway, so do I just take the Kum Hellhound? It is a party member. The Kum Hellhound really is not exciting. Maybe I just take the Electromancer as a random wizard. That can help us ramp a bit if we play on curve. And that can help sometimes. So this is like 22 playables. And I guess I'll just take a second one. Another Bug Catcher. Yeah, I gotta take the Bug Catcher here over the Banneret. It's just too good. And a Synchronized Spellcraft, pretty good. Nice, expensive removal spell. And I guess I can finally take my Seagate Banneret now. There's also the Pump Trick, but I don't care about it too much. Yeah, I don't think we're splashing for Zagras. It's very good, though. But this is not really a deck that's trying to like draw through the deck to find Zagras. And if this is not really a deck that's actually looking to splash, we're just looking to curve out and beat down, I think. So Zagras, even though being a great first pick, it just couldn't beat Maul the Skyclave into Kabira's takedown. So I think this is fine. And even though fine 4-drop warrior that I don't mind playing in this deck, although not amazing since it trades down, sometimes it's still feasible. Even Seagate Banneret, but I think 1 copy is fine. I don't really want to play 2 copies. 1 is usually fine because in the late game you could just pump the whole team. So this seems pretty solid, and even I don't mind playing the Stonework Pack Beast in the deck. Okay, so looking at the deck, I think we can cut 2 lands since the Kum Warrior will mostly come in as a land since it's pretty expensive to cast. Spikefield Hazard will mostly become a land because it's not an amazing removal spell. Shower Skull Minotaur is excellent. Could consider cutting the McKinley Ox here because it's kind of clunky and expensive. And it might just be low to the ground. We can even just go 16 lands here because that's usually the amount you want in an aggro deck. Prowling Feldar can be okay. We can consider cutting the Smite, but it is a removal spell. Maybe Prowling Feldar can be quite slow, but it's better if we're a little bit... But it's still a fine card that can grow over time, so I don't hate it. Yeah, let's just move the interaction spells to the other side. Roil Eruption. I could consider just cutting the Sizzling Barrage anyway, since it's not reliable. Molten Blast. Synchronized Spellcraft. So this is kind of like our removal that we have. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have a lot of decent removal already. So I don't know if we need something like Smite the Monstrous when Sizzling Barrage is just cheaper and this is pretty clunky. So I don't really want a 4-mana removal spell. I actually don't hate Synchronized Spellcraft since it can deal face damage too. The Kabir Outrider, the Shower Skull Minotaur might reward us for more party members, but I don't know if I even want the Ardent Electromancer. It's not even that great. 1 copy can just be enough. Because this is literally just a very hyper-aggressive deck for the most part. I could also consider cutting the Prowling Feldar now that I cut the McKinley Ox, since I might not even be caring too much about landfall synergies. And then maybe just curving out with Ardent Electromancers is just better. So yeah, maybe I can just cut this and just toss in the Ardent Electromancer. And extra party purposes, since it also pumps the Grotog Knight bug catcher, and it also helps us give extra discount for the Shower Skull Minotaur. I don't actually hate playing these Ardent Electromancers, so we can have a Rogue, a Warrior, Wizard, and potentially a Cleric being the Stonework Pack Beast. But most of the time, it might just be X equals 3, so we'll just have mostly a 3 party members on the battlefield, and that's still pretty good. So I think we can try something like this. 16 land seems fine. This can be a mana sink in the late game. Same with this card. This can be a mana sink with 16 lands. And the extra mana generating from the Ardent Electromancer might even allow us to double spell sometimes. I don't really want to play this kicked, but whatever. This has an option of being kicked. This is mostly going to be a 5-drop. Same with the Shower Skull. Shower Skull will mostly be a 4-drop, I think. Molten Blast can be fine too. Maybe there's an artifact that we don't mind killing or destroying. Sizzling Barrage. I think it's only playable in this type of deck where we're always attacking. So yeah, this seems good. Yeah, Boros Aggro it is. And mana base looking 9/7 looks decent. We are highly red. But I still think we need 7 white sources perhaps to play our white spells. But 9 red sources should be enough to maybe cover the early game, and hopefully the 7 white sources won't punish us too heavily. So let's try this out. And our picture, yeah, Shower Skull Minotaur seems perfect. Let's try it out. And I guess the Akum Warrior can also be a fine, like, 6-drop that we can play in this deck. So it actually, it can also count as maybe a potential 6-drop. So I think 16 lands is good. And if we go down to 15, that might be a little bit too risky. Okay, first opponent. Let's see, opening hand. What do we have here? Okay, it's a pretty bad hand. We don't have a second white source, although we have Maul. It's just not really keepable. Luckily, we're on a draw, so it's not going to punish us that heavily for mulliganing. So let's just hit the mulligan button. Alright, I guess I'll keep this. And what do we ditch? Maybe just a Scorch Rider, since we can curve out 2, 3, 4, and the Maul is just a bomb. So yeah, probably don't need a Scorch Rider. We're never going to kick this, and the Kabira Outrider can at least pump when it enters the battlefield. So this is fine. And a Seagate Banneret on 1 is perfect. So just need to get a 3rd or 4th land drop and we're good. And the fact that this weapon attaches immediately is quite strong. Bug Catcher is excellent. Although it's only going to be 2 power since we only have Warriors. Skyclave Sentinel, okay. So you have some good blockers. So what can I do here? I can play the Maul and get in for a huge chunk of damage. The question is, where do I attach the Maul? I mean, yeah, I guess I'll just play the Maul now because I do want to pressure him as much as possible early. Let's attach the Maul into the Bug Catcher because the Seagate Banneret might be more useful in the future. And we also don't have too many party members. This getting in for 4 per turn is quite broken here. And keep in mind, the creature also has first strike, so it's pretty difficult to double block. Field Research main phase makes me happy, so that means he's trying to hit his land drops here. Another Bug Catcher is great. So if I play the Kabira Outrider, it's just going to pump this for 2. So this, I guess... Wait. Enters battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature in your party. So I have essentially nothing but Warriors, so pumping this won't do anything. So I think I'm just going to pump the Bug Catcher again. And then we're going to attack him for 4 and start pressuring him even more. So this is 5 damage essentially. And the Kabir Outrider can also attack past the 2/3, so this is the reason why you don't want to go 3 colors sometimes in this set. It's there's not a lot of fixing, and plus if you run against a deck like this, you're mostly gonna run into a lot of issues. Unfortunately, this isn't Kicker, so he's just gonna play a bunch of tap lands, which is still pretty slow. So yeah, do I just dump my hand? I don't think there's any board wipes in green or red or blue, so I think I just play everything out here, and then yeah, let's just attack with these two, and then I'll just play everything out here. I could have also pumped the team, but it's not lethal, so I think I'd rather just develop the board for more stuff in case he answers both of my creatures. But yeah, ramp decks usually aren't super amazing in this set. I mean, I guess ramp is amazing, but yeah, his deck just didn't really make any sense going 3 colors since he didn't have any low mages familiars or anything. So yeah, it's not impossible to splash in this set, it's just not advisable because it's really difficult and you can only do it in green for the most part. And even then, if you're going to do it in green, you'd rather be a more controlling or mid-range deck in order to do so. So that game went exactly according to plan. Just play 1 drop into 2 drop into 3 drop into 4 drop and kill the opponent. Boros Aggro 101. And I guess with the bug catchers being able to trample, the Sizzling Barrage is actually not that bad. Since if he blocks a trample creature and I kill it with the Sizzling Barrage, the trample damage will still go through. So I don't actually hate the Sizzling Barrage in a deck like this, but outside of a deck like this is not actually playable, so keep that in mind. And opening hand, we do have a bug catcher on 2, and we have that Sizzling Barrage. Seems okay. I think I need a little bit more creatures, but I'm on the play. I don't think I can afford to mulligan this. And with 2 colors, I think it's fine just keeping this for now. Ooh, Sneaking Guy would have been perfect on turn 1, but unfortunately we had to take the time off for it until next turn. So Sneaking Guy will improve my practice tactics, so that's quite nice, and it also allows me to grow the bug catcher. Ooh, okay, Geopede. So I could attack for 2 here, and then decide if I want to play out Geopede. Yeah, let's attack for 2. The question is, what if he blocks? Do I just use practice tactics and kill it? I mean, it's not a bad idea. It does put me off tempo, but this is a really strong card. Do I use a Sizzling Barrage on this? Or the Practice Tactics? Practice Tactics is a lot more situational, but it just does 2 damage. Now, let's just use the Barrage. I think it's a lot more expensive and mana efficient to use. And we still have 4 damage incoming next turn with this Sneaking Guide, so I think this is fine. Yeah, I should have played Sneaking Guide main phase, but to deal the extra damage, but this leaves me more open, and I can use the Practice Tactics next turn. Skyclave Geopede, pretty strong. Okay, Fledgling is strong too. I guess we're just going to move to attacks and attack with all. Well, if he blocks, I guess he's just going to take it anyways, if it makes sense. And I'll play my own Skyclave Geopede. Next turn we might even Fledgling and play land to enable landfall and grow the fledgling. I can also trade here. Like, it's not unreasonable to trade. If he has a pump trick, that's going to lead to a blowout, but I think since I'm ahead in the race, I might not need to do this. Okay, Thundering Rebuke anyway, so I guess I'll be taking 5. So we're basically forced to race, essentially. Another planes off the top would be a miracle, since I can also keep up Practice Tactics. He might just save a removal spell for the Bug Catcher here, though. Which would kind of suck, but so be it. Usually the more controlling deck will win in a red-white aggro deck. And, don't think I need the extra warrior. I guess I might just try to outrace him here by attacking, so let's move to attacks. The question is, do I leave up Practice Tactics or play out the Fledgling? I think I'll leave up Practice Tactics and hope he doesn't have any removal at instant speed. Because this 5-powered creature is going to beat down pretty hard here. I guess he could have a removal spell here now. Yeah, that sucks, so my Practice Tactics is not going to do anything. I guess I'll be just taking 5, which isn't good for me. Okay. So planes off the top would be pretty nice here. But he played around my Practice Tactics pretty nicely. Might have to use a Synchronized Spellcraft next turn. Or just Fearless Fledgling into land. Fall. We take 5. Let's just say go. Could just block with a Sneaking Guide and use Practice Tactics to 2-for-1 myself. Or just hope I top deck a land to deal with a 5-3. Okay, that's a card that's difficult to kill. So now I wish I had my second party member. So now what? Yeah, do I have no choice but to double block here and take 7? Or I can just take 5? Yeah, it's not great losing this, but I'm hoping maybe I can just top deck a land to kill the 5-4. So, yeah, I might just have to double block here, or I can just put the Sneaking Guide in Practice Tactics, but yeah, this is a little bit too difficult for me to deal with, so I have to double block here, and then before damage, I guess I'll just kill the Tazim Raptor. And he played around Practice Tactics quite nicely, hoping that I can just top deck a land to kill the 5-4, because I'm really in no position to race him and outvalue him with the Fledgling, so land is good, so now I can instant speed the Spellcraft here. But now he can grow his land into a 2-2, which is annoying. So opponent also has a very strong white-red beatdown deck. But yeah, the Royal Eruption in his hand. Okay, yep. Sometimes uses face against a better deck. If he didn't have a removal spell for my Bug Catcher, that would have been great, since I could have just blown him out by killing the Geopede. But he played around it quite intelligently, so I have to congrat him for doing so. Okay, opening hand. We do have double Expedition Champion, so I guess I don't hate it. And do I play the Spike Field Hazard tapped? I guess I can wait for a turn before I do so, because he could play something that's worth killing with the Spike Field Hazard, so I'm not opposed to maybe playing this on turn 2. But I can still get punished. We'll see. Because you never know what 1 toughness creature he plays that I need to answer, so I guess I'll just play a mountain first, say go. And then if he doesn't play anything, that's 1 mana. I'll just leave up the Spikefield Hazard. Okay, I guess I got punished a bit, but I think I'll just play out the Grudtack Bugcatcher and take a risk here. And if I get a land, that would be a great godsend since I can develop my board. And I didn't, so I guess I'm kind of punished, but... Yep. My end of turn deliberate. Nope. Maul is great. Do I Maul or do I Expedition Champion? I think I might have to Expedition Champion first to play around some stuff. So I think I'm just going to attack with a Grotok here. Because Blink of an Eye would be really bad if he uses it on my Bugcatcher here, or a Counterspell on my Maul, since the Maul is going to be a long-term or better card. So yeah, he had one anyway, so... I guess this only counters creature spells, so it doesn't deal with the Maul. But either way, I think I'm going to attack into this and try to use the camp and try to kill it with a Scorching Barrage, or I just play the Scorch Rider. Huh. Let's attack first. He's probably not going to block anyways. Please block. Okay. Guess the opponent isn't scared. And a good Sizzling Barrage target. We even trample over, so... Glad that I actually attacked and made him block, so... Nice spell managing to get good value and trading down. Vine Gecko, so he's playing a kicker deck, sure. Risen Riptide, so that can block now. So now I guess I don't mind playing the Maul. The Maul's pretty good. Alternatively, I can just attack. This gets in for 2. But the Practice Tactics isn't going to do anything, so I might just have the Maul here just to deal as much damage as possible, so I'm going to do that. Also should have just kept up red as well to represent something, but I'm fine attacking for 4 here. He can totally disrupt me here and slow me down and deal a bunch of damage if he has a kicker spell here. And that would kind of suck since my Practice Tactics is not going to be at its best. Okay, a Tizim Royal Mage, not what I wanted to see. Okay, guess I need to kind of race him in the air regardless and take 8, which isn't great. Yeah. Sizzling Barrage? I guess the Sizzling Barrage isn't bad. It only destroys artifacts. Do I need to keep up anything? Probably not. I think the Scorch Rider is fine. Unkicked, and we can still get in for 4 in the air. Unfortunately, that only deals damage to target creature, so we might have to chump here or trade. He does have Anti-Cognition up, so I guess I won't be able to use any removal spells. I can force him to use the Anti-Cognition here, or if he taps for blue and kicks, I don't know, this is close. Okay, no kicker spell, so he's probably going to keep up the Anti-Cognition here. Do I block? I actually don't mind the block, since this can be very annoying later. And the 4/3 isn't going to attack past the 0/5 anyways. So yeah, I think I don't hate the block, and this also doesn't allow him to play his kicker spells. The Adventure is annoying, but we can still chump that. So what I can do is now I can ramp. I can use the Ardent. Actually, what's this? Deals 2 damage to target creature, so it only deals damage to creatures. So what I need to do is I need to play out the Ardent Electromancer. Then play out the Expedition Champion, keep up my 1 white for Practice Tactics. And then I can attack him for a bunch. 5, so 1 more damage and he's dead. So as long as all my creatures... As long as this doesn't deal my 5/4 all my creatures survive, we're in good shape. So yeah, I don't think he can kill me here. I can easily take 5 from this Veteran Adventure and I don't care. Sure, I don't think there's anything that can kill me from 12 here, so I'm fine taking it. And he can free roll me if he wants. So now what? Do I attack? So if I move the Skyclave to, I don't know, another creature like this Ardent Electromancer, what happens? This can still attack in for 3. I guess I can't even trample over. I can maybe use Practice Tactics. I don't know. Let's just move to combat. And hopefully he doesn't blow my Grotog Bugcatcher out. And this is just lethal. Into the Royal Kick to make sense. So sure, there's not much I can do about that. At least he's using it on defense here. That's going to buy him some time, but I can just replay everything, which I don't mind. And I guess I can also re-equip too. And I guess this will also give my 3-2 double strike. I mean first strike to hold off the 5-5. So that's actually not bad, so now his 5-5 can't really attack profitably. And he might have to kick a spell to activate the Riptide. And I still have enough chump blockers on the ground to stay alive, so this is still fine. Yeah, he's just going to attack with all, so what we can do is we can put the first striker in front of the 5-5, put the 4-3 in front of the 2-1, and then I can still block the 0-5, so I don't take a million damage if he has the kicker spell. So yeah, his only hope was to alpha me here. But luckily enough, the Maul of the Skyclave is broken, so... I'm quite happy he blocked with the Baloth that turn, since now the Sizzling Barrage got like full value from that kill. Just need to double check the list in case I'm missing something from the sideboard. I don't really care about this. Fine weapon, but we have the Maul. We have one of these already, not really looking to destroy lands. Pretty expensive and clunky. We don't care about landfall, expensive and clunky. We also don't care about landfall, though, so I don't need a Prowling Feldar. Random pump trick, but we should have enough damage to get by. So, yeah, seems good. Let's keep this up. Okay, opening hand. Well, we have the Maul and Geopede, so I guess I'm keeping. And I can still save the Kabira's Takedown as a removal spells. And there's a chance we could end up flooding, so I don't really need to play it out immediately. Could play the Seagate Banneret. Okay, Archpriest. That's not a bad creature I mind killing with the Molten Blast. So I guess we'll just play land now and pass. I can Molten Blast this on turn 3, or I can decide to play the Geopede to be aggressive. It depends on what he plays here. If he plays another party member, I might just kill this with the Molten Blast, and he does. Okay. Titterpeak Ambusher. It's not going to do anything with the Kabira's Takedown here. So now what? Titterbeak can hold off the 2-2, but if he plays another party member, that's going to be a problem. I can try to race him to Skyclave GOP, but this could just be a game where I just want to keep up the Molten Blast here. Do I do a main phase, or do I do it on his turn? If he plays a creature, it's better to do it on his turn. But I guess I'll be killing the Archpriest anyways. So yeah, let's just Molten Blast main phase. I don't think I want to spend any more time contemplating. This is fine. It's definitely a scarier target than the Grotog Bugcatcher. So this does play around like a pump trick that he might have. Core Blade Master, so what I can do is I can now play out the Titterpeak Ambusher as a good blocker, and then I can keep up the takedown in case he plays a weapon to try to equip, and I can kill the Blade Master in response. Relic Axe, okay. Let's see what he tries to equip it onto. Sure. It's gonna lose double strike, and it's only gonna attack for 4 power. That's fine. So I could eventually pump this to trade, or I can just play out GOP to maybe trade for it, which I don't hate. It does trade down a bit. Alternatively, I can just play Maul to block this, which isn't bad. I guess I don't hate the Maul. Yeah, the Maul isn't bad. A 3/5 first striker is difficult to deal with, and we can still stay back with this. And he's stuck on 2 mana, so he doesn't really have a good profitable attack here. And then we can just start developing the board instead. I could just attack for 3, move the equipment, but I think it's better to just play a bunch of stuff and stay back on defense, so we don't get run over. Yeah, I think that's a better approach. And I can still play a creature and move the weapon around, so that's great. So now I can try to outrace him here. And he's still stuck on 2 mana, so he only has, like, I guess, roil eruption to kill my bug catcher after I move the weapon. So this is good. So yep, I can just move the weapon around, put up a blocker, and just keep attacking him and outracing him. And him being stuck on lands is going to be a big problem here. He might attack and then use a Sizzling Barrage on my 3/4. That's possible, too. So if he attacks, I might not block, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and I could just pump twice and kill him, I guess. So this is kind of a game where we kind of got lucky and managed to stall him out. Okay, there's an Expedition Champion. I could attack with both of these. This has Trample, Force a Trade. Maybe it's better to just move the Maul back to the Titterpeak Ambusher and play the Expedition Champion. Although this is 3 mana, so maybe just best to attack with, I don't know, these 2 ground creatures. Or just keep this one back to trade off. Attacking for 4. Play out the Expedition Champion instead. And develop the board, which is more important, I think, than moving the weapon around, so I can still keep this up to pump and trade if I have to. And then we can decide if we want to alpha next turn if we want for lethal. Since he's guaranteed to take 4, and he only has a blocker here, and then I can still pump the Seagate Banneret or the Titterpeak Ambusher. So it probably has a removal spell at instant speed, I'm guessing, so what we can do now is we can play land. And I guess I'll just alpha here, because why not? I don't really see a reason to stay on defense, since we should have enough to just kill him. Could see, like, yeah, there's no way he can beat this. So it's funny how I'm drafting white-red aggro now, and all of my opponents I've been facing so far have almost been aggro. I guess the multicolored guy wasn't, but the last game was aggro, this game was aggro, and then I guess the first opponent was aggro. So it's kind of funny noticing that because the other drafts I've done, mostly I run into Demir, but now I guess I'm running into aggro for some reason. Don't know if the software is rigged or something, and they're running algorithms where they're just matching us up with kind of similar decks. It's possible. I have no idea. You have no idea what Watsy's always hiding. We have 5k gold to do another Ikoria draft, but we'll keep this train going. Okay, I could just play this tapped, play the Grotag Bugcatcher, and hope I get some white mana since I'm on the play. Yeah, let's risk it here. I don't think I'm going to be casting this anytime soon, so I'm fine just playing this tapped. So I don't run into an issue of getting mana screwed. Reclaimed away, so he's splashing. Or he's just using this to find his land drop. Okay, Kabira takedown. I might just play this tapped. But I'm definitely going to play out the GOP this turn. But it's highly likely that I might just play this tapped. Since even if I don't use this as a removal spell, we still have access to Maul, this Skyclave, which is great. Scale the heights, okay, just to gain some life, so yeah. Definitely fine if he wants to do that, and then now we can play the Kabira takedown tapped. Trigger landfall, and then we're going to lead up with another Grotag Bugcatcher. There is a board wipe in this set, which is 8 mana, so I gotta be careful about that. So if he's ramping quickly, I need to be careful not to play into that, so just going to try to kill him as quickly as possible. Second best red common in this set behind roil eruption. Okay, that's a lot of life. Don't mind just attacking here and then using Sizzling Barrage. I think I'll do that first since this is very good Sizzling Barrage value and all my creatures have trample. Alternatively, if not, I could just play out the Maul, the Skyclave, but this is just too good. I'm hoping he blocks here. Yup. Now we get Sizzling Barrage value, which is great. Definitely not playable anywhere else, but playable definitely in a hyper-aggressive deck like ours. Gotta be careful if he does have the board wipe not to play too many permanents. But this is 6, so he needs 2 more lands to get to, okay, Rabbit Bite, fine. I'll just Maul here probably next turn. Shower Skull Minotaur is powerful. So the Kabira is not going to grow it enough, so I think we Maul here. And then we just get in for 4, and then one more turn we can kill him. I guess if he kills this one, and I top deck a plane, this game over, since I can just move the weapon around. So he needs to kill it now, this turn. And I need to kind of get lucky and get a planes. Can be Bailoff, okay. So he needs to practice tactics here. I mean, not practice tactics, but like a Rabbit Bite here. Otherwise, he's just going to lose. He has one, okay. And all I need now is just a planes off the top. That's a good card, however. It's not planes. Guess I'll just play the Kabira Outrider and pass. And I just need a plains here, please. Please, game, give me a plains. I just need to win this. Please give me a plains to play my broken card. You could play land attack with both. I'll be taking a lot of damage. I guess I don't mind just taking 4 here. I guess he doesn't have a land here. I guess I don't mind blocking like this. This is a good trade for me, and Bailoff can definitely get out of hand the more lands he plays, so that's fine. And he has a 3/3 to follow up anyways. 2/3 I don't care about. Plains off the top, okay, game over. Yeah, this card is definitely incredibly broken. The fact that you can just turn any like 2-drop or 1-drop into like a game-winning threat is already a pain in the butt, so glad that I transitioned into white for this. And the fact that the weapons just come onto the battlefield equipped in this set definitely makes these uncommon and common weapons a lot more valued than they normally are in other sets. Four and one. Let's keep playing. Opening hand, we do have a sneaking guide. We just need our white mana. We're on the draw. I think it's okay. Okay, the pack beast, still party member, so the ramp can maybe help us. Anything that punishes us for attacking here? Not really. There's no flash creatures in red, so let's just play out the plains. Don't mind showing them the second color anyways, and then next turn we might... I guess if I play out the Sea Banneret next turn, I can just ramp out the Stonework Pack Beast. Since if I play out the Stonework Pack Beast and play the Ardent Electromancer, I won't be able to play out my white creatures, so let's just do this. And I should be able to still play out the Stonework Pack Beast next turn with the Ardent Electromancer. So 3-drop and a 2-drop seems fine. And hoping the opponent just misses land drop here so I can punish him. So 3 colors, okay. But still plays nothing. Alright, I guess we're just going to move to attacks here. And then once we get to land 5, we can essentially just play out, we can pump the whole team. So now I can play the Ardent Electromancer. No counter spells in red or green. And then didn't play out the Stonework Pack Beast, okay. Alright, so that was interesting. So I guess I won't be able to ramp out the Stonework Pack Beast here. I guess I will since it's 2. So that's still okay, even though he kills my Rogue Guide, which can sneak in for damage in the future. I still have a team I can pump. And if he doesn't follow up anything here, he's going to be in trouble. Pretty decent target for Molten Blast. And yeah, let's just do it here so we can get in as much damage as possible. And then we also have a Titterpeak Ambush next turn if we want to play it. Or we can pump the whole team and get in as much damage as possible if he misses his turn again. Broken Wings, okay. Haven't seen such an aggressive usage of it. So what happens if I pump the team? I can get in for 4, 5, 6. Nah, I think I just like the Titter Peak Ambusher. Opponent's playing a bunch of janky cards in 3 colors. Broken Wings. Spikefield, I guess, is main deckable, but yeah, he hasn't played anything impressive so far in 4-colored. Nahiri, I don't think I care about Nahiri. I might just attack with all here and forget about Nahiri.
The solution lies in stone. I can work with that.
He's obviously just going to block the 1/3, but I don't really care if he's just making a bunch of 1/1s. So let's just attack with all here at the face. I don't think I care about Nahiri. And he's forced to chump the 1/3 here and fall to... yeah, he's forced to chump, so who cares about Nahiri? So now what? I guess if I pump once, I can deal up to 4 damage. If not, he just takes 2 and I can play the Bug Catcher instead. I think I'm more interested in going wide, so yeah. I guess he just concedes here. So 4-color Nahiri, yeah, it doesn't work in this set. Don't try it, guys. Forget about that 4-color, 3-color bullshit nonsense. It doesn't work in this set. It doesn't work in Core Set 2021. It works in Ikoria, it works in Dominaria, but come on, just don't try it in this set. It just doesn't work. The 3-color stuff is only limited to green, and even then, it's not even that amazing of a strategy in this set. Just stick to your 2-color themes unless you're unless you have a broken rare that you don't mind splashing. And 5 and 1, so this has potential to get to 7. Right, opening hand, Bug Catcher, Akum Warrior, yeah, I guess this is fine. We don't have any white mana, white spells anyways. We can have a decent curve out of threats. So yeah, let's keep. We're also on the play, so it makes it... So that's better. I see we're on the draw, never mind. It says the opponent's on the play. I could get greedy here and not play this tapped. Maybe that's okay. Because there might be a strange chance where I do want to play this on turn 6. Okay, let's just play out the Bug Catcher and just curve out here. And the question is, if I play my Ardent Electromancer, I guess I have the chance to curve out with this on turn 4. Do I take that risk? Alternatively, I can play a land tapped. Nah, let's just play out the Electromancer. Let's move to combat first, though. I guess I could play this main phase instead, but could have a counter spell here. Nah, let's just force him to use it. I should have done this main phase to get the extra damage, but I don't think I care too much. Yeah, let's just pass. And if I top deck a land, I can just haste out this Shadow Skull Minotaur and punish him. And he just passes, and he just concedes, okay. Yep. Sometimes in aggro, you just punish the opponent for missing their land drops. Or playing a greedy mana base. It's funny how you can just win the game like turn 2 bug catcher into turn 3. Just because the opponent misses a single land drop or doesn't have any interaction spells. Kind of crazy how limited can work sometimes in Magic in general. Just not very fun and interactive. Alright, so currently 6-1. Let's just kill the final boss and we'll just do an overview of this deck. And let's just play our turn 2 bug catchers and just win the game, essentially. Alright, opening hand. Alright, we have both our mana. Hey, and turn 2 bug catcher into turn 3 Ardent Electromancer into Stonework Pack Beast seems pretty strong, so we're definitely keeping. Could see a counterspell here, but I'm not playing around a counterspell. The earlier I get this, the better. A Thought Thief, so he's looking to mill me. So maybe we can still out-aggro him. So I'm fine just taking... Oh man, he milled my Skyclave. Well, that's rough, but I should be able to still maybe out-aggro him here. So what I can do now is I can play out land. I can play out the Electromancer. That's going to give me 2 mana to play another bug catcher. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's just do that. Or the Pack Beast, so I can beat down harder, but I'd rather just play the Pack Beast next turn. I don't mind trading for a Stonework Pack Beast here. Getting in for 3, and then we can trample over for 2. And the game plan is just to smash him and punish him for missing his land drops and playing lots of small creatures. Okay. I'm hoping he doesn't attack here. But he does. Okay. Guess I can be a little bit more greedy now and just play out the Expedition Champion instead. And we might even get to turn 6 for the Coom Warrior, so let's just do it here. Play a more expensive creature that can beat down harder, and then we can play out the Stonework Pack Beast to get in for the extra damage eventually. So he's going to eventually pump this into 2 power if he decides to attack. So the Maul could have just killed him like if he didn't mill it in a couple of turns, so he kind of got lucky. So could just see a bounce spell here, but I think I'm going to main phase the Pack Beast here. Since he's bound to have some sort of interaction, I think I'm just going to attack. So he could just mill me here and then essentially put this into 2 power. But I think I'm still fine attacking since I'm not going to win this game staying back. He could bounce a Stonework Pack Beast, mill me, and then... Okay, into the Royal. I guess this is still going to be 3 power, so he doesn't have any favorable blocks and I can just recast it anyways. So he's essentially just doing that to buy himself some more time. But still, this is a lot of power and toughness. Fine taking 2, I don't care. Expedition Skulker, okay, just a Death Touch Rogue. Alright, guess I don't mind just attacking with all, and I hope he doesn't have anything. And then if he does, I guess I'll just follow up with an Akum Warrior. You could have that flash 1 mana guy who can give something -1, -0, which is annoying. Yeah, he probably has that here. Okay, just Vanquish, never mind. So at least this trades and I can get him for 2. And I can follow up with an Akum Warrior. And hopefully no more removal or an interruption spells, but he probably does, since this opponent has a pretty strong deck. The mana Scare Sneak, okay. That can trade for my 4/5, so he's probably just going to keep this back. Alright, we're not in a good spot. I think I just stay back here with the lands in case I find like a landfall creature like the Fledgling. I'm hoping I find a Sizzling Barrage or something off the top that can deal with this. And just more lands. Okay, I guess I'm trading. Yeah, I guess I'll trade. it's not very good. And if he has that creature that will shrink this down, that's also not great. But other than that, I need to get rid of this 5/4. Yeah, the opponent managed to out-control us here. So it's pretty much game over here, I think. Ooh, the fledgling though. Okay, maybe the fledgling. He could even counter the fledgling if he wants to, I guess, with anti-cognition. Yup. So opponent just had everything this game. All right, can't beat them all. Final boss just had to be the most broken Dimir deck possible, but whatever. If he didn't mill the Skyclave, I think we would have had a chance, but it's really hard to get back from all this. Alright, so that was a pretty worthy final boss, but we still have another one to get through, so hopefully it's not the same opponent. But if it is, I guess we still had a pretty decent chance of killing him. Just have to hope that we don't face against another Dimir opponent with a million disruption spells and removal spells. So let's see if we can take out the true final boss. I'm happy facing against that same opponent again, since it seems like a pretty nice matchup, where he has interaction spells to deal with my creatures, and then I'm just curving out with like very efficient threats. Opening hand, sneaking guide, bug catcher to bug catcher. Okay, seems like a perfect opening hand, and then I can eventually leverage the sneaking guide to grant all my bug catcher's evasion eventually, which is great. Could see him counter, but I guess we'll attack first. I guess he could have that flash creature, so never mind. Maybe I just play this and pass. Yeah, I don't think it's worth dealing 1 damage because he could have that 1 mana flash duelist, which would totally blow me out. The Wind Rider Wizard, okay, so it's a perfect target for Molten Blast. I think I'll just do it now. Alternatively, I can offer to trade, play Expedition Champion. But this is a pretty good target to just get rid of, so I think I just go for it since I don't really want him to loot. And this is 4 damage, which is quite a lot, so seems fine. I can even play Bug Catcher next turn and give this unblockable if I want to. Roil eruption, okay, makes sense. And I guess I'll just play the Expedition Champion now. And that resolved pretty smoothly, so I think I'm attacking the Sneaking Guide. And yeah, I think I'm playing around it. And I guess I had the Spike Field Hazard at instant speed anyway, so I don't care. Hellion, I can't really kill, but what I can do is I can still make this unblockable, get in for 2, and then play out the Bug Catcher. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That seems good. So what I can do is I can make this unblockable, and then play out the Bug Catcher and attack for 4. And then next turn I can eventually give this unblockable and attack in for 3 per turn. Actually, I want him to attack, so that's good. And I can maybe leave a Synchronized Strike, kill something, and then alright, kicking it, so he's going to slow me down a bit. Sneaking Guide, okay. I don't mind just actually using the Synchronized Spellcraft here. Since, you know, he can trade for one of these, and then I'm not going to kill the 4-5 anyway, so I might as well just do it now, just to get in that extra point of damage and then just swing out. And this forces him to stay back on defense while I assemble the Sneaking Guide and also the Teeter Peak Ambusher. Another Hellion, okay. Guess this will allow him to race. I can still chump block eventually, so... Yeah, I think it's too risky for him to attack, so he's probably just going to stay back. Yeah, let's just develop the board. I don't care. Opponent's holding up priority, so he probably has some instant speed interaction here. So I'm just going to stay back here. There's really no need for me to do anything. I can still block with the champion if he decides to attack and use a Spike Field Hazard to finish off one of the 4-5s. Eventually I can just make this unblockable and attack in for 4. But if he attacks with 1 4-5, I don't mind using the Expedition Champion to deal with this, because if he's able to block off of another 4-5 anyways, I might as well use a Spike Field Hazard. But then again, if he attacks, 4 isn't the end of the world. That's pretty annoying. Okay. So this might be a game where I need to alpha. Field research, okay. So if I alpha, what happens? I guess this is still going to be only 2 powered, so it's not going to be good. This is not great, so I might have to attack with a Teeter Peak Ambusher and pump. Ooh, I guess Arn Electromancer might just be my out here, since this is going to be 3 powered, and then I can use a Spike Field Hazard to finish him off. And I can main phase 1 the pumps with the Teeter Peak Ambusher. So yeah, let's just attack. And then if I can attack for 3 powered with one of them, and I can finish him off with Spike Field Hazard, that's great. And there's no double red at instant speed here, so let's just let damage happen. And then the Spike Field Hazard does 1 damage to any target, so yep, glad that I picked up this MDFC, doing the extra damage needed to finish him off. Alright, perfect 7 and 2. Opponent almost managed to stabilize against me, but I drafted the perfect aggro deck to basically squeeze out as much damage as possible. And I'm quite happy getting to 7, so I can showcase this awesome draft. Didn't see the haste creature, the Shower Skull Minotaur, that much, but I think the MVP of this deck was the Grotag Bugcatcher and the for the most part the Maul, which managed to steal a lot of wins. So anyway, just a quick overview of the deck. Just a straight up beat down red-white aggro deck. We first picked Zagras, but we realized that black wasn't too amazing and kind of cut off. And then our pack 2 pick 1, we opened up another bomb, being the Maul of the Skyclaves, which gave us an option to be in either red-white or red-black. So I'm happy that I didn't commit to red-black too early in pack 1, and I managed to pick up a Maul of the Skyclave, and I just stuck with red to keep my options open. And it seemed, and then after picking the Maul of the Skyclave, we got past, I think, a Fearless Fledgling into Kabira's Takedown, so that solidified us into the red-white aggro game plan, and there was no need to keep our pack 1 pick 1. So it's always important that you might abandon your pack 1 pick 1, so it's important to keep in mind that you should always keep your options in the draft, even though you picked up a bomb, mythic or rare. You kind of want to lean towards that card, but you don't necessarily want to overcommit to it all that much, because in your second pack or third pack you might pick up a bomb in another color that you don't mind switching into. But it's more likely that you switch into the you make your decision point around like halfway through pack 2 anyways. So yeah, this draft was an example where we kind of abandoned our first pick and we kind of switched colors after pack 2 pick 1. But anyways, overall really nice draft deck, just pretty straightforward. Aggro, pretty much brainless aggro is what this deck is all about. We have the Coom Warrior as a decent MDFC. Same with Spike Field Hazard, which are mostly going to be played as MDFC. So I decided to cut 2 lands and go 14 lands, and then both of these, even though they come in tapped, it's still fine in an aggro deck, since as long as you have a bunch of 2-drops and you aren't focused more on playing a bunch of 1-drops, you can still play a tapped land and still get away with it. So yeah, 16 lands, and then yeah, just a solid aggro deck. The interaction spells consist of Practiced Plan, Kabira's Takedown, Roil Eruption, which we didn't even see at all in any game, Sizzling Barrage, which actually isn't amazing outside of a beatdown deck, but usually one copy can be fine if you're hyper aggressive, like in this scenario. One copy of Molten Blast. It can't go face, so I'm really not a big fan of this, but just being able to destroy artifacts can come up sometimes in limited, and even then, just dealing 2 damage to kill off a small creature early on to get in a nice attack can be decent. And then at for a lesser extent, Spikefield Hazard, which managed to get us that last game, which the opponent almost stabilized in. Synchronized Spellcraft, I guess, is a removal spell. And then the biggest bombs in this deck are pretty much the Maul of the Skyclaves, the million Grotog Bug Catchers that we're playing on turn 2. Shower Skull Minotaur can catch the opponent out of nowhere, and then turn 3 Skyclave GOP, and then turn 3 Expedition Champion, being a 4-powered 3-drop is definitely very good. So this card is actually very good too if you are heavy warriors, and it's almost definitely worse than Skyclave GOP, but it's almost at a similar power level, so that makes it a very excellent 3-drop in the red aggressive decks. So yeah, I'm not opposed to playing red aggro in this set. Even though all the rest of the colors prefer a more grindier approach, sometimes you can just run away and steal the game playing an aggro deck, and this draft is a fine example. I did state that red is the worst color, since Roil Eruption is their best common. Second best common is an aggressive card like Grotog Bugcatcher, and then third best common is probably Synchronized Spellcraft, and then the rest of the other red commons aren't super amazing, since they tend to be small creatures that can easily be blocked, and there's a lot of life gain and efficient removal in this set. But sometimes if you can just curve out and just be hyper aggressive, you can just get there. But overall, yeah, again, this is an example of a deck where it showcases what Red's mission is to do in this set, which is, again, just do nothing but attack, 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 and attack. And this doesn't leave Red with a lot of variety to mix well with other color pairs. It does mix well with white, because white can be aggressive sometimes. Green is a lot more mid-rangey in this set, so it doesn't particularly mix well with green that much. But yeah, sometimes green has the extra party synergy with red that it combines pretty decently. So cards like Brushfire Elemental are kind of great in that color combination. Red-blue is mostly wizards, but blue is looking to be more controlling, so it's a bit of a dichotomy. I think red-blue might be the slowest red archetype in the set, but either way, it's trying to be aggressive at the very least. And then red-black also, it's a bit of a dichotomy in the set, since it's also trying to be controlling and grindy, which kind of doesn't mix well with the aggressive game plan of red. So I think red-white is where it's supposed to be if you want the most aggressive archetype, and then maybe like red-green would be next upon the list. So yeah, due to the fact that red kind of overmits the aggro game plan, it can sometimes just get blown out pretty badly. With the whole controlling theme nature of the set, that red is probably just not a very flexible color. So yeah, that's my reason why red is considered the worst color, because again, the commons aren't super fantastic besides Roil Eruption and sometimes the Grotog Bugcatcher, and then it's just committing you all into an aggressive game plan where it doesn't leave you for much room moving into other mid-range or controlling archetypes, that it just kind of limits you. But if you can go all in with red, and red is definitely very wide open in your pool, and you're able to force the hyper aggressive red game plan, your deck can definitely be close to like an A+. So I'm not against red in this set. I just think that it just doesn't offer us as much variety as it would in other colors. And again, most of the commons aren't very amazing. But yeah, sometimes you just get away with it. And this is a fine example of a deck that did. So anyways, I might record more content. I might do another seal pool, but I'm happy doing another 7 wins limited video for you guys. And stay tuned for more videos, and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.